Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this update from your coronavirus headquarters. I'm Tyler Jobe. The Commerce Department announced U.S. GDP shrank 4.8% in the first quarter. The GDP is the measurement of goods produced in a country, and that slowed way down during the coronavirus pandemic here. Natalie Brand is at the White House with why this could be just the start of what some economists are saying will be some very bleak numbers.
The government says the U.S. economy shrank 4.8% in the first quarter, the largest decline since the 2008 Great Recession.
You know, it's yesterday's news. I don't want to belittle it because the next quarter is going to be much worse.
Just this morning, Boeing announced it's cutting back on production and laying off 10% of its workforce.
GDP growth in the second quarter is going to be, negative. Big number. Wall Street estimates are negative 20, negative 30% at an annual rate. And so that's because we've done something that's really unprecedented. We've basically stopped everything.
President Trump wants states to reopen their economies as soon as it is safe to do so. He's meeting with Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards today. The president also talked with food and agriculture executives this morning to address the nation's food supply. The president signed an executive order Tuesday declaring meat processing plants as critical infrastructure, directing them to remain open.
There's plenty of supply, it's distribution, and we will probably have that today solved. It was a very unique circumstance because of liability.
Many plants have closed as hundreds of workers have contracted the coronavirus.
Before they talk about reopening, they should make sure safety is first.
Analysts have warned of possible meat shortages at the grocery store. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The United Food and Commercial Workers International Union says 20 food processing and meatpacking union workers in the U.S. have died from the coronavirus. Well, across Iowa, there are more than 6,800 cases. 148 have died. More than 3,000 of the cases in Iowa have been reported in the last week. Total recoveries in Iowa are more than 2,400. In Iowa, there are 88 cases in ALMA County. Wenatchee County has only 15 positive cases, not 24, as the state's health department had previously been reported. No new cases are being reported in Winona County at this time. At least 24 people have recovered in the county. Across Minnesota, there are more than 4,600 infections. This is the second straight day that Minnesota has set a new record for positive cases. More than 300 people have died from the virus, but in some good news, more than 2,000 people are no longer needing isolation. As the number of COVID-19 tests across Minnesota expands, healthcare officials in the La Crosse area are also moving toward testing more people. Gunderson and Mayo in La Crosse are ramping up testing for COVID-19 to help slow the spread. Officials say more testing provides more accurate case numbers so health officials can identify problem areas. That information makes it easier to flatten the curve so businesses can safely reopen sooner. Even though La Crosse County has not seen a large spike in cases, things can change fast.
A couple of weeks ago, one would have said very low numbers of cases. And over the last week, because of some outbreaks in some specific settings, they've risen to, I believe, close to the highest rate per capita in Wisconsin.
Health experts in La Crosse say social distancing has kept the county from experiencing a larger surge in cases. A new COVID-19 testing location is coming to Buffalo County. The Wisconsin National Guard will host a testing location on Friday in ALMA. Anyone 5 years and older that currently has COVID-19 symptoms is eligible for nasal swab testing. High-risk individuals, which includes those 65 or older and those with underlying medical conditions, will also be tested. The assistance comes after a request by health departments in Buffalo and Pepin counties. The testing sit will be at the Buffalo County Highway Department and State Highway 37 on Friday from 11 in the morning until 7 in the evening. Here's a look at the latest numbers of the coronavirus cases in Wisconsin. Nearly 6,300 people have tested positive for COVID-19, with more than 3,000 recoveries, though. That's nearly half of the cases being reported in the state. 300 people in the state have died. There are no new cases in La Crosse County. 26 of the 28 people have recovered. More than 50 people who voted in person or worked the polls during Wisconsin's election earlier this month have tested positive for COVID-19 so far. The State Department of Health Services reported the latest figures yesterday, 3 weeks after the April 7th presidential primary. Wisconsin Emergency Management spokesman Andrew Beckett says several of the 52 people who have tested positive and were at the polls also reported other possible exposures. Restrictions on non-essential businesses in Wisconsin are being lifted today. The new order goes into effect at 8 a.m. this morning, and many businesses preparing to open, but in a new way. At a bait shop and kayak rental service in Schofield, owners are trying to keep both their business and customers healthy.
We're going to be implementing our transfer system to use these bags.
We also will be implementing our old intercom system so we can talk to customers through a closed door. We're here to take as much of their money as we possibly can and try to give them the best live bait we can, but we want to make sure this all stays on the up and up and everybody stays safe.
Non-essential businesses in Wisconsin were forced to close over a month ago on March 24th. So many owners are relieved for the opportunity to start making money again. Several state parks, forests, and recreational areas in Wisconsin can now reopen. The state's DNR says 34 parks will open on Friday, but not without some changes. The parks will be closed 1 day a week for maintenance, and hours will be reduced. Group camping and shelters will remain closed until May 26 when the Safer at Home order ends, but boat launches can be used at any state property that's open. An annual park sticker or trail pass will be required. The state of Iowa is also reopening non-essential businesses, including restaurants, this Friday. The change will go into place for 77 of the state's 99 counties. State health officials say they're helping businesses to prepare.
The Iowa Department of Public Health and the Department of Inspection and Appeals also partner together to develop specific guidance for restaurants as they prepare to begin serving their customers again soon.
Allamuckie County will not be able to open this Friday, but businesses in Winneshiek County can. Thank you so much for joining us for this coronavirus update. We hope you can join us tonight at 5, 6, and 10.